Hey there, Meg.
Hey there, Jackie.
Are you ready for some strange news?
I look forward to this time all week.
Oh, good. I've got some weird ones for you
Oh,
today.
me too.
Florida
person.
Florida
Florida person.
Florida
Florida person.
Okay, let's just jump into it because it was super easy to find stories this week because I don't know. I guess July is weird. July is weird.
Yeah, I've gone back. There was some things that were happening last month that I really liked, and I've got one from the past, a story that haunts me to this day.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Why don't you start today? You start with your first, quick hit or whatever you want to call it.
It's my raccoon roundup for the day.
Yes.
This is a UPI story, my favorite odd news selections by Ben
Hooper. He's
Raccoon.
back.
Yeah, Ben Hoop, the hoopster.
I love Ben Hooper.
June 20th, 2022. Raccoon spends a day atop Kentucky light pole.
Oh my gosh.
Do you say raccoon or raccoon? I like saying raccoon.
That sounds so like high. It sounds like a high class way to say raccoon.
Raccoon.
Raccoon. Oh, the raccoon. I say raccoon. Raccoon.
Well, I'm going to say it my fancy way.
Yeah, say it fancy.
Okay.
I like that.
Firefighters in Kentucky warned drivers to beware of a raccoon that had taken up residence at the top of a light pole near a store. But the animal ended up vacating its perch on their own free will. The Central Campbell County Fire District said the raccoon was spotted atop a light pole near the Mayhor store on Alexandria Pike in Cold Spring. Please be careful if you're driving in the area. For safety and liability reasons, we will not be attempting to assist the wild raccoon down, the department said in a Facebook post. I guess that's how they send out their alerts. Fire officials said they contacted the Campbell County Animal Shelter, Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, the Kentucky State Highway Department, and some local wildlife rescues in the hopes of getting some help for the raccoon. But a follow-up post revealed the raccoon ended up rescuing itself before help could arrive. Sometime overnight into the early morning, the raccoon came down on their own free will, the department said. The department thanked residents who expressed concern for the animal's safety. We are happy that the raccoon came down without incident.
Now, I just want to say I don't believe that this raccoon was in any danger. I think it was just having itself like a day. It sounds like it was just like I found like a little place. I'm like, I just want to hang out and people watch. And then all these people got like really upset.
Like they don't understand that it's a wild animal and it doesn't need help. I sent you a picture of him, and he's very cute. He's just...
I feel like it was fine. The guy was having like a whole thing, and it was fine. And then people were like, "Oh no, gotta get that guy." Oh, okay, that is super high up though.
Really
okay,
high up.
All right, okay, hold on. I guess I was picturing. If you see this picture, it is one of those like light posts that are like on the side of a highway
it's
that
like,
are like I don't
huge.
know, a couple stories
it's like
tall.
So huge,
yeah.
And the raccoon, and he kind of looks like he's holding on for dear life.
You know, I mean, maybe it was a stunt. Maybe this is like the David Blaine of raccoons, and it was, so it could have been a thing like that. I don't know. I would have never, I don't think, seen the raccoon. I would have just assumed that was like a nest, you know?
Yeah. I would think that it was like one of those, how they have those wooden owls outside of businesses.
Yeah.
Like it was like a giant raccoon to keep other raccoons away.
I mean, raccoons are climbers though, so I mean it's not crazy. I guess I would be concerned if it fell from that height, because that could do like some serious damage.
Yeah, I like how they said that they couldn't rescue the raccoon because of liability reasons. Like he's gonna sue them.
Well,
Or they could
Yeah,
spook him and then he
yeah.
could just fall onto a car.
ooh.
Shut down the
Yeah.
highway. Shut down the highway. Rescue the baby raccoon. He's a big boy.
I'm not like I don't know how they would, right? Because I guess maybe you get like a cherry picker or something like up there. And then if you grab them, like you can't grab a raccoon.
No.
You can't do that. Like I think, raccoons are one of those animals that you see, you acknowledge, and then you just leave them alone.
Leave him alone.
Yeah. Well, good for them. I'm glad. I'm glad that he
came-
got down.
Yes, without incident, as opposed to like other raccoons that are like causing incidents.
I wish somebody would have gotten the him coming down though on camera
Yeah.
because it's just like a pole. So he just shimmied down the pole, and you've seen like a cat shimmy down like a pole before.
Yeah.
It's like they're just. They're just like, like they shimmy their little like booty like all the way down.
And this guy has like little fingers and little toes that he can just
little-
hold on to. So it must have been really fun to see. And why didn't somebody should have been out there all night looking out for his safety? It's just kind of like they showed up the next day and they're like, oh, I guess he left.
Yeah, I mean, this is like, there was like this crazy thing on like Discovery Channel or something I was like watching when I was in a hotel like months ago. And it was, they were like, what is this thing caught on camera? Could it be a cryptid or something like that? I'm like, that's a raccoon. That's a raccoon. And they're like, no one will ever know if that was like an alien or like a being from another dimension. I'm like, it's a raccoon. That's a
Wow,
raccoon.
It's not like cryptozoology. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's like also kind of annoying because do you ever do that where you like some problem comes up and then you send out all these like questions or like help me with this, can you help me, and then it kind of just resolves itself. That's another thing about this story where they're like asking all these groups, please, what can we do about this raccoon, and then he's just like gone.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like clearly like people were concerned about it, and the police probably have like a file on like raccoons that climb up to things, and people are like, hey, you gotta do something, and then they're like, no, you just leave them alone. Just leave it alone. Please don't climb up there and try and save the raccoon. You will die. You will. That's great. I'm glad it had a happy ending.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Yeah. So this one's coming from July 12th, this month, 2022. And this is out of Georgia. I'm getting this from the AP. All right, so it's the title is Police. Man cut loose after crawling down pizza oven vent.
What?
Yes. So this is out of
Wow.
Lithonia, Georgia. So this is Lithonia. I'm not sure where Lithonia is. I didn't make
Wow.
any attempt to look it up. So let's just go.
Go for it.
All right. So a Georgia man became trapped while trying to crawl down through a vent from a strip mall roof into a pizza restaurant on Tuesday, forcing firefighters to slice open the vent to free him, police said. The man was taken to a hospital and the extent of his injuries was unclear. Police told local news outlets that emergency responders cut open the vent where it extended upward from a pizza oven at a Little Caesars outlet in
No.
suburban Lithonia, about 15 miles east of downtown Atlanta. All right, well, I just answered my own question from earlier. It's near Atlanta. I don't know why it's called a Little Caesars outlet, though. I don't know if they sell, like, Little Caesars with, like, odd cheese or something. I guess it's like in a mall is what that kind of is what they're trying to say. It's like one of those like Little Caesars that are like in a mall, like
like an outlet stores where it's
think
not like a.
No, I think it's just like a food court. So it was like a strip mall, or maybe yeah, it's like a strip mall. So like like what you're saying, and so it was a one building, but he tried to crawl down into the vent, and it turns out it was the vent for a Little Caesars pizza
Yikes.
oven. he proceeded to get stuck. Now,
Oh my
Brittany
God.
Davis, a U.S. Army recruiter, told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution that she could hear the man yelling for help when she arrived for work at the neighboring recruiting office.
Wow.
I looked on the roof, but I didn't see anyone, Davis said, so she called 911, which is
Good
good.
citizen.
If somebody's screaming for help, assume they're stuck in a pizza van.
Wow.
Davis said a Little Caesars employee told her he could hear the man's voice coming from inside the oven. Davis said she went inside the pizza restaurant and spoke to the man, who reported he was in pain and having a panic attack. Yeah, not surprising. Not surprising. I'm not sure what time the restaurant closes at night, but the oven still gives off heat after they close, I imagine.
Oh, yes.
DeKalb County Fire Captain Jason Daniels. Is everybody got, like, they've got first names for last names. Everybody has first names for last names in this. For him to get down the pipe, he had to do it in a certain window of time when the oven was cool enough, and obviously no one was there. The man walked to an ambulance shortly after being removed and was taken to a hospital. Police did not identify him or announce any criminal charges. That's how you know that this is not taking place in Florida, because we would definitely know his name. It's a Georgia story, y'all. Different laws, okay? Photographs showed the vent broken off and laying on the roof, and firefighters cutting away sheet metal vent while standing atop the oven. So, moral of the story is, don't ever crawl into any vent for any reason whatsoever.
No.
It's possibly
Don't do it.
It's possibly a pizza oven. Can you imagine if they had started making some pizzas and this guy was burned alive in a Little Caesar? It's not even a good pizza oven. It's the worst pizza restaurant you could possibly get nearly killed in. At least do it at a Illuminati's or something.
Yeah, exactly. There have been a lot of stories I've seen about people going down chimneys and dying. He's really lucky that didn't happen. And yeah, he could have died, and then they could be making pizza and then smelling like this corpse.
Yeah, no. No.
Don't go down.
I will
the
be
oven.
looking to see if there's ever a follow-up on this story, because I understand that maybe, not all the mental clarity was there. It does mention that he had a panic attack, but it seems like he had a panic attack while he was in the oven. But why was he? Maybe he was trying to break into the building and thought that was just an air vent or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He could have thought. Yeah, he could have thought that. Or he could have just had psychosis.
That's true.
And thought that was an entryway to somewhere else. That's speaking from somebody that had a psychotic experience once, and I would think something like that. If I could fit down there, I'd be going to space.
Oh man, no, not crawl. Never crawl into any pipes or holes or anything like that. At best, it's a pizza oven. At best. All right. Moving forward, I think this is a very romantic story. Oh.
It's relaxing for me to look at the pictures from this, too. This is Moose on the Loose. 2 bull moose seen in Monument Creek. And this is from Colorado Springs, Colorado, from a local news station. 11 News, your breaking news leader. And it's got a big picture of these 2 moose, and they're just hanging out by the water. It says, Colorado Springs. Colorado Parks and Wildlife shared pictures and videos of a couple moose spending the day together Friday. Rangers saw these 2 bull moose playing in the water at Monument Creek. And so then they have a bunch of tweets updating people from the CPW. It says, watch them as they slowly move along the creek. They appear docile, but don't be fooled. If a moose approaches, it is not being friendly. Watch for signs of aggression, ears back, hair on rump raised, licking snout. Then get to safety. If you suspect a moose is around, watch for movement in the brush, especially the sudden shaking of a small tree. In the rare event of an attack, run. Put a large object like a rock or a tree between you and the moose. Then call CO Parks Wildlife immediately or 911. As the day continued, rangers say the moose wandered close to I-25. The moose had to be tranquilized and put into a trailer to be taken up into the mountains. And the tweets continue. Tonight's CPW wildlife rescue was 2 bull moose who were hanging out in Colorado Springs all day and then decided to enter I-25. Quite a night, officers tranquilized 2 bull moose and, with the help of members of the public, carried each to a livestock trailer to be relocated to a better moose habitat in the mountains. And so the rangers say to follow the rule of thumb. If you hold up your thumb and can see the moose, you are too close.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's it.
Oh no, it's like I know what they mean by that. It's if your thumb can completely cover the moose, it's far enough away that like you're okay. But so that's just like a rule. I don't remember like what it like, because generally somebody's thumb is like all the same size. But it's like a measure of distance. If you can completely cover it with like your thumb by stretching out your hand and like, you know, giving the thumbs up, then that means it's a certain amount of ways. But if it's too big and your thumb can't cover it up, it's too close.
I don't know how scientific that is. It sounds kind of just like folksy.
It is. It's kind of like, so between your on your knuckle, between like the first, like, what is that? Where it bends? What's that called? A joint. Oh my God. It's the joint between the 2 joints. Like that little bone is roughly on everyone the size of an inch. Just because there's only, even with people with tiny hands, like once you're done growing and people with like big hands, like that digit is roughly the same size on everybody, give or take some centimeters. So it's like if you're trying to roughly get an inch, that's an inch. So understand the tricks that they're trying to say. So they're trying to say like, you know, moose on the loose.
Moose on the loose, because they got those skinny legs. So if they're on the highway, that's like the worst thing because if a car crashes into a moose.
Yeah.
I know that their bodies work like torpedoes because their legs are so skinny.
Well, just a regular deer can really mess up your car if you hit them like head on. And like a moose is like, you know, it's like a mega deer. It's like they're like a ton. Like a full grown one like weighs a ton. It's like hitting a horse. But then yeah, mooses.
A couple moose.
Okay, so it's just moose. Moose are actually like really dangerous.
Yeah.
When I was in Steamboat Springs, so like the ski area, like Steamboat Springs has these signs up that are like, you know, if you see a moose in the area, you need to like call the ski patrol so they can get it out of there because they are so dangerous, because they charge like a rhino, and they will like completely mess you up and trample you, and they don't just like charge and then run away. They charge and then trample and then come back for more.
Oh wow.
They are actually super dangerous. Yeah, so like that is what they always like. It's the moose you got to worry about. You know, you can scare a bear away, but a moose will like stand its ground and come mess you up. They're like the swans of the antelope and deer world.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, they probably make those weird noises like deer make, those big bull noises.
Yeah, like, you know, on YouTube how there's like those YouTube channels that are like, you know, crazy crocodile encounters, crazy shark. Just look up the moose ones. Like those.
Oh, good idea.
Those are genuinely terrifying because it's just this giant animal that is just like, I'm charging, I'm gonna get ya, you know, and just running at full speed, ready to like buck into you. The moose are no joke. Moose are actually, they look like they're gonna be funny and like they're cute and they're like silly looking, but they are no joke, dude. You know, moose facts. That's your moose fact for today. That's your moose fact, all right?
Stay away from the mooses.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. It really is. I feel like there's more moose stories in our future.
Yeah.
So this one's coming out of Florida. This is from the Florida Keys, from Big Pine Key, Florida. This is July 9th, 2022, and the headline is Diving into Some Tunes at Florida's Underwater Music Festival. Which sounds so much fun. It looks like everybody's dressed like a Wiki-Wacky mermaid. Witchy-Wacky. You know the mermaids?
Yeah. Uh-huh, yeah.
They're all like in like mermaid costumes, and everybody's got one of those like diver like hoses, because it's like obviously not in deep water. This is like pretty shit, but everybody's underwater and they've got like the hoses from the top so they can breathe. And I wonder how the music sounds. Probably terrible.
Probably.
Yeah. So the article says they weren't in a yellow submarine, but hundreds of people spent time below the waves Saturday for a music festival off of the Florida Keys. And yeah, Big Pine Key's like right in the middle. It's technically considered the lower Keys, but it's like the first one in the lower Keys, and it's the biggest key. It's like the big guy.
Oh, yeah.
The Beatles' hit and other ocean-themed songs, like the theme to The Little Mermaid, were part of the entertainment during the Lower Keys Underwater Music Festival. The divers and snorkelers, many dressed as mermaids and sea creatures, obviously, enjoyed music played through waterproof speakers dangling from boats above the Florida Keys National Marine Sanctuary. The festival took place at I think it's Loon. I've been here. Loon Key Reef. It's Lone Key Reef. It just, like, it's Lone, but it's, like, the last name Lone's named after somebody, so it's Looe.
Oh.
Lone Key Reef, about 6 miles from Big Pine Key. The event at the continental United States' only living coral barrier reef raised awareness on how divers can protect the reef by not touching corals or leaving litter underwater, using mooring buoys instead of anchoring when boating, respecting dive flags, and other ways of minimizing environmental impacts. Participants swam among marine life and coral formations and described the music as ethereal, a bit muted, but emanating from all directions. So it's basically a stunt. It's a stunt that just raises awareness and probably money, because it's a marine sanctuary. I have been there. It is a nice reef. Florida has lots of very nice little reefs, but they are under threat because of the coral just touching it. Like, the oils from your skin can kill the coral.
Yeah.
If you, like, litter kills the coral, smacking it with, like, your foot or your flipper will kill the coral. Like, everything kills coral, and coral takes a super long time to regenerate.
Yeah.
It's actually, like, living. It's not actually a plant, but they're these little organisms that basically make up like rock formation, but they're all living cells, and so they die super easily. And we do a really bad job of keeping them safe, and but we need to do better. We need to do better. More underwater music festivals, I feel, would be great.
Yeah, I hope the coral and the fishies enjoyed the music.
Me too. I feel like if this was, it seems like it was, had the blessing of the marine sanctuary, so my first concern was, do the fishes like that? You know, or are they like, shut up.
They're like, what the hell's happening?
And I'll send you the pictures. They're so cute. They're so fun. Everybody's dressed like mermaids. It looks like a blast.
I think I would really have loved that if I was a kid. I would be like, this is what I'm gonna do when I grow up.
Yeah, it's funny. I've never heard of this before, and I would love to go one day. I think that would be so much fun.
That looks nice.
Right?
Very cute.
All right. You've got one more, and I've got one more, and
Yes.
that's gonna be your weird news for this week.
Yes. This is about 9 years ago. This is from businessinsider.com by Pamela Engel. 2013, August 21st.
Ooh, from the vault.
Another problem for Detroit. Packs of abandoned dogs are taking over the streets.
Oh my god.
As many as 50,000 stray dogs are now roaming the streets and shacking up in one of the city's thousands of abandoned buildings, Bloomberg reports. Many of them have been abandoned by their owners who can no longer afford to care for them.
Aw.
It's becoming a problem for mail carriers and people who like to go on walks. The U.S. Postal Service temporarily stopped delivering mail to some neighborhoods because of the aggressive animals. One mail carrier told Bloomberg that she uses pepper spray to fend off the swarms of dogs. The problem hasn't sprung up overnight. Rolling Stone's Mark Binelli reported a very similar story last year, pointing out that a lack of animal control officers in the city makes the problem tough to control. Another issue is the city itself. The Detroit Free Press recently created a map of the city's abandoned buildings, and the results are striking. Most of the city is colored brown, which signifies areas with a significant presence of abandoned buildings. The dog issue is just another sign of the once thriving city's decline. Detroit's population has plunged in recent decades, and it has the highest violent crime rate of any large city in the U.S.
Oh my gosh. When was that written again? Sorry?
2013.
2013. So almost a decade ago. I was in Detroit in 2014 or 15, so around that time-ish. And yeah, it looked rough, dude. It was rough. I heard that it's made like a pretty big comeback recently. Like it's gotten much better, but never really got, was back to its former self after, I think it was like in 2008, the whole crash and everything really destroyed that area.
Yeah. There's a show that I like that was on Comedy Central with Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson. That's called Detroiters.
Oh, Detroiters.
Yeah. That's like really, really cute.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting because, like they're so close to Canada. It's like right across like the channel there. You can see like Canada, and it like could be, I don't know, it once was so great, and like you could see that in some like the architecture, but it was like so sad seeing all the stuff banned. There's this really grand train station that's just like, it's like in the middle of nowhere, it feels like, because there's nothing really around it, and it's like, you gotta Google Detroit abandoned train terminal or something. It would have been like the biggest train central station in the United States. It's huge, and it's so like beautiful, and like has like this like Baroque like style and all this like, filigree around it, and it's just empty.
Oh gosh, that's so sad.
Yeah, it's the craziest looking like abandoned building, and I would love to explore it, but I would be so afraid I would get stabbed.
Oh my gosh. Well, it says it's still one of the 10 most dangerous cities in the United States. I guess it's still number 1 as of February 2020. The first one, Detroit, Michigan, followed by Memphis, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, Baltimore, Maryland, St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, Cleveland, Ohio, Little Rock, Arkansas, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Stockton, California.
Huh. Interesting. I didn't know that Memphis was number 2. That's actually surprising to me, because Memphis was really nice when I went. I guess I was in the nice part or something, but I was like, oh, Memphis. It's like it has like a very Nashville vibe.
I'm listening to a book about Egyptology and the ancient religions of Egypt, and whenever they say Memphis, it's like,
yeah,
it takes me like in Tennessee. I immediately think of Tennessee. I don't think of like Memphis, Egypt.
Yeah. And the other ones like aren't super surprising, because some of like the Midwest cities get a little rough.
Yeah, Missouri, like,
no offense, if you live there, there's so many nice places in like St. Louis, and like some of the coolest places I've been were in St. Louis. I was walking back to my hotel on the river at night, coming from like a jazz club, and I was like, oh,
coming from a jazz club. Okay, jazz
I know,
baby.
I went to a jazz club because St. Louis has like a big jazz scene. It's really great. It had some awesome places. But like I said, I was like walking back, and I was like, oh, maybe I should have taken an Uber. I'm surprised. What's that city I hate in Connecticut? Hartford. I'm surprised
Oh, yeah.
Hartford's not on there.
Yeah.
Sorry, if you're from Hartford, I'm so sorry, but I hate that city so much, and I felt in danger all the time. All right.
All right. So you got one. You got one more.
I got one more. We'll round this out with another Florida story. We had one from the vault. We had some sick animal news. I love that. We'll end it with a little more animal news and a little more Florida news here. Okay, so this next story is coming out of Hollywood, Florida. That's right by you, Meg. And the title of it is Florida Woman Surprised by Uninvited Iguana in Her Toilet. You don't want that. I always used to be afraid when I was a kid that, like, you know, when you go to the bathroom at night, that for some reason I was sure that one day there would be like a snake in there and it would bite my butt. Even now, like, when I go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I'm like, I gotta check the toilet real quick. I gotta make sure nothing's in there gonna bite my butt. So this is from yesterday, July 13th, 2022. A Florida woman interrupted an uninvited guest in her bathroom on Saturday night. Michelle Reynolds told WSVN that she went downstairs to make herself a snack. After putting her popcorn in the microwave, she went to use the bathroom and opened the door and did a quick turnaround because I saw this thing in there and quickly shut the door.
Oh.
What was the thing? It was an iguana, of course. The reptile was unable to find its way out of the commode, so Reynolds had to enlist Harold Ronding of Iguana Lifestyles, a wildlife removal service, to rescue the little fella. I love that there's like a whole economy now built around the invasive iguanas in South Florida. Rondon said he has removed several iguanas from South Florida's properties this year already. This is the second one this week already, he said. I don't feel like they needed to quote him in that because they literally just said, this is a badly written article, but I still love it. Rondon said he removed a Mexican spiny tail iguana from Reynolds' toilet. Males can get up to 18 inches long, with tails that can also get up to 18 inches long. This guy just repeats himself. He took up most of the toilet bowl, Reynolds said.
Oof.
Although they are not native, iguanas have become common in South Florida, WSVN reports. It is believed that they were brought to this area as pets in the 1960s, and some may have escaped or been released. While they are not dangerous to people, some iguanas can transmit salmonella.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. Don't lick the iguanas.
Don't lick those iguanas.
Also, I mean, they do bite. I mean, they're not going to, bite you and you're not going to, like, die from a bite. They're not poisonous or venomous or anything like that. But we had, like, an iguana in our elementary school, like, classroom. And that sucker would bite, and it did hurt. Because they, like, latch. They, like, bite and latch, and it's like, you gotta be like, bitch, stop it.
Stop it. They're so fast, too. I was at Shake Shack yesterday, and I saw one running through the grass. And it's like, they're so fast.
They are. They're really fast. And they're super, like, when they jump into water, they are terrifying because they jump in with such force. Like, they'll, like, splash! And then they just start swimming like a crocodile really fast. Like, they're so erratic. They're really erratic creatures.
Yeah,
like, I can imagine him
aggressive.
just, like, thrashing around in this woman's toilet. And I would be like, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, it's too erratic. It's doing too much.
Yeah.
Like, if it's just sitting there, fine. But, like, when they're, like, thrashing about, it's too much.
No. You gotta leave. You can't stay on my toilet.
No, it's way too much. It's not, like, to the extent of, like, if there was, like, like a copperhead or something in your toilet where you're like, I don't know, burn the place down, I guess.
Oh, and then what? Oh, my gosh. And then it makes me think, like, she had to use the bathroom, and then she went to the toilet, and there's a freaking iguana in there. So then what do? You just go somewhere else.
Yeah, now how did it get in is the real question, because it was an 18-inch long, like, his body was 18 inches long, so it's, like, over 2 feet. Or no, under 2 feet. Under 2 feet, but very close to 2 feet. I did math real quick.
Can they come up from the toilet? Yeah, because it's like you'd see that walking in, right?
Oh, I can't imagine it came up through the plumbing. Like,
oh, no. Either
It
way,
had
it's
to.
pretty horrifying.
It had to have come through like a window or something that she left open, but I'm thinking like, what monster in July in Florida, in South Florida, leaves a window open? Are you trying to like die via mosquito bite?
Yeah. Are you that's the invitation to all iguanas to come in and sit in your toilet.
Like, I would I don't open windows to begin with. I'm just not going to do that. Because, like, what if I never close it and, like, something terrible happens?
No.
But, like, in the middle of the night in July, in the summer in South Florida, what are you doing, lady?
Asking for trouble.
What are you doing? You are asking for... I'm mostly concerned with the bugs. Like, I could coexist with the iguana, but you would be eaten alive. You would be eaten alive.
You could get a little raccoon in there too.
You could get a raccoon, and then
little raccoon,
and then you could be concerned by how he will not get down.
Exactly. For your own safety, sir.
Yes. But if you take your thumb, and you can completely cover him, you're far enough away. And that's what we've learned today, folks.
Use your thumb to adequately find out if you are in danger or not in danger.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we have to research if that's, like, really good advice. But I did know exactly what he was talking about in that, so, might be an expert on this. Don't know. All right. I think that's going to do it for today. Those were some really fun stories. We're going to be sure to put all of the links to the stories in the show notes. You can check out floridaperson.com. Yeah. That's all the way spelled out, floridaperson.com for all the episodes, or it's going to be released on any of your podcast platforms. If you have any great stories or questions or anything at all you'd like to email us, you can email us at floridaperson@gmail.com. That's us.
FLPerson. That's us.
All right. Until next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Florida person.
Florida.
Florida person.
Florida. Florida.
Florida person.